go into Daybreak, a little bit of an older map, so you can see some of the older strategies being revived for this, and I'm very interested to see whether there's going to be any variation of the choo-choo train being done here. For now, let's get into this game. Daybreak, what do you think of this?
What do I think of this? Well, at least with your earlier comment with kind of older builds being revitalized and revived, I think generally, I guess really the only thing I have seen would be a proxy gate that would be reminiscent of older style, but is this me going out? I don't know. Oh. Am I still there?
Yep, yep. It's moving again as well.
Ah, alright.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, everything is alright. I think that was me lagging out. Not sure. I'll have to double check that. But There we go. The top right-hand corner of Daybreak, we have the blue Protoss player. It is Classic.
And his opponents coming in for the Zerg race, playing for the color of passion. It's soO.
Bro, I prefer blue as my color of passion. Really gets me going. Rustles my jimmies, you could say.
Well, is that truly what you mean, or is it just because this blue happens to be a Protoss?
I don't know, man. I don't know, but we got Marsh as an old school Wild West priest and Dronok as an alien space clown. I could dig it. I could ship it. I could ship it right there.
Right, so we've got standard openings on both sides. We have a hatch first on the side of soO, and Classic going for that 2 gateway into an expand as well, so nothing too dramatic either way.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I was not actually paying attention earlier, but it looks like he did open up 2 gates, then the natural. Generally, you do see Nexus first into 2 gate to compensate, but the fact that... Are you sure this wasn't a Nexus first? Right in the moment when I was watching, I didn't actually pick that up, but this would be a very unique play if it was just a 2 gate opener.
No, I believe it was a 2 gate opener. I was a little bit distracted, to be perfectly honest. No.
Well, for that just 2 gate opener, it does have a lot of possibility, especially on a map like Daybreak where the 3rd base is far away from the natural, something that you used to see in Heart of the Swarm a lot. Not so much in Legacy of the Void, though. So as you're saying, the strategies that would be revitalized on this map are just a little bit more aggressive from the Protoss hitting the 3rd, yet for now it's just going to be Adepts going into soO's main to check out and get a scout.
Alright, as this is going on, no, he's not going to get close enough to the minerals to really do any damage, but it shades into the natural, and soO pulls away perfectly on time. Not even a little bit of an issue, but as speed is going to finish, well, I guess that doesn't matter so much with the positioning of Classic right there. Although, no, he's not going to get out there.
Incredibly unique and aggressive opener from Classic. I love it. He's forced out a lot of lings. Speed just finished up, but on Classic's side of the map in his natural base, he does have what he needs to defend. And even though there weren't too many workers killed, there's actually 0 workers killed, workers were pulled. It was a build that we're going to have to see over the course of this game whether or not it truly paid off.
Yep. We've got soO going in there trying to get a scout of the main base. He's not going to commit his Overlord to it on the other hand, and to be perfectly honest, there's nothing to see. Because the tech is in the wall on the natural.
Yeah. And that Twilight Council has already been spotted. soO can see that it's on the way, and he can 100% presume that it will be resonating glaives because it's a heavy adept attack from Classic. And on the defense, we will see Baneling Ling primarily, except remember that there wasn't an early 3rd queen for a soO. He does not have creep quite connecting his natural and his 3rd base yet, so there will be some delay for queens coming to the defense or for Banelings or for Lings.
Got Classic moving into that 3rd base, and there, oh no, that does finish up. That's very lucky there. Queens do very well against Adepts, especially if there's struggling to hold them in place, but Classic jukes and jives into the natural.
Gets himself into an okay position, but preferably you'd want to be in those mineral lines, denying some surface area. Adepts split up remarkably, getting a decent amount of damage done. Few do go down to the banelings, but finally now they find an open main base. Drones are being pulled, which is exactly what Classic would want. Even though his Adepts cannot get away or cannot maneuver as easily, the drones present themselves to the Adepts. 12 have been killed, and even one Adept's not quite going to get out alive, but that will delay the push. It will delay everything from soO. This is fantastic for Classic, especially when he has a second wave of aggression already being prepared.
And what kind of aggression? Well, it's DTs. One of the things very popular these days, just to send them in as DTs or to send them in as Archons right away. And soO really doesn't want to invest into those spore crawlers if he can help it. But yeah, the alternative is dying horribly, and he did scout it.
Yeah, and I think that's really the beauty of the more recent DT into Archon attack, where even if soO invests into spores, fantastic. Classic can make the next step in his evolution, in his countering play of in the game, and move into Archon. Something I've always loved about those DTs is sometimes in StarCraft you can get in a position, this is more in Legacy of the Void, or check that out, Heart of the Swarm, Wings of Liberty, where, well, I countered you, you can't do much right here, but these DTs are not going to have a Warp Prism to be able to jump up into and get out. They're actually going to be caught out of position. One Archon is on the way, but they don't get too much damage done. Yet this does pull the entire army of soO out of position to allow Classic's Adept push to get into soO's main base once again, get more damage done, and he sacrifices DTs, but will kill a horrendous amount of drones. Already, we have seen 21 go down.
Damn, yeah, normally speaking, it's the DTs that do quite a bit of damage, but I think Classic is not going to complain at all about that. He got the aggression in, he's got his third base almost done, he's ahead in worker, only one, and his opponent hasn't been able to, just got the lair, by the way.
Yep.
He must be feeling kind of comfortable.
Yeah, I'm worried for soO overall. But we will have to see, as you're saying, how he chooses to be aggressive. And it looks like it will be roaches. We got roach speed on the way, +1 melee. But everything is just so dang late. Classic's really unique opener. I let him get a lot of worker kills in. He got 12 originally. He's got more now. Even though his secondary wave didn't quite work, killing things, he did force out a lot more lings. He forced out the queens not to be injecting as they would like to, and so really, with keeping up the constant pressure, since he's getting damage done, even though Classic has lost his own units, he's in a far better place than soO, especially when it's 3 base to 3 base.
Yep, fourth base going down for soO right there, and yeah, well, 62 workers right now, so he has stabilized. Yeah, he took a lot of early damage, and I'd hate to see Classic in the position if he hadn't done as much damage as he had. Because soO right now, he's got the same workers, he's got more workers, he's got the same armor supply, he's got an upgrade lead. And this is with early damage being done on there? Wow. Oh, and he's going to get a very nice attack on those stalkers. No! Gets picked up.
Yeah, decent force field positions will keep these roaches out, and phenomenal control with the Warp Prism is going to be able to pick up as much as Classic wants, and he rebukes the attack, and then we have drones miscontrolled. It looks like they're misrallied into the middle of the map. They're going to try to fall back home, but those rocks have not been taken down. This is going terribly for soO.
Well, I did mention something about being ahead on drones, and that would just be too unfair in this game, wouldn't it?
I mean, he was head on with his drones right there. They were going to ram into Classic's army, but sadly, just not quite enough of them. soO is in a very bad position right now. He's got to be super careful. The beauty of this is Classic has just taken each little lead that he's been given. Great, there's drones, I'm going to focus them down. Great, I get into your main base, I'm going to kill as many as I can, and each time, soO helps Classic with his aggression.
Going out there, check to see if there's another base over there. And I like the way he moves, keeping to those areas. He can just force field off, and he's got so
Precisely.
much to deal with that.
Beautiful! Force fields all the banelings on the left-hand side. Classic has an opportunity to push on the right. Blink is done, so he can easily blink out of the way of these banelings. Banelings starting to get in there, but nice force fields them. since soO tries to micro them to get better hits, it doesn't actually end up getting a lot of damage under the Stalkers, but does clear out the sentries. So Classic wants to push with this attack and does not want to have to fall back since he doesn't really have anything to fall back with.
And now there are the Zerglings coming in on the back there, and Stalkers is very good unit, but if you get those Zerglings on there, especially with that attack upgrade, you're going to have a bad time. Classic pulls away with just 3 Stalkers surviving that onslaught.
Yeah, a huge overextension from Classic. He had killed so many workers, he felt so well, but soO managed to get the Banelings in to kill so many sentries, and those are the units that take time to get their energy. Same thing like from out of the robotics facility. If you kill Robo Facility units, you can't just warp them in really quickly, and yes, of course, you can warp in and have one force field, but now Classic does not have the utility that his army has and was able to take fights with earlier on. All he has is the top of this ramp to shut that down, and now he doesn't even have the top of the ramp to plug that hole. Lings are streaming in, Ravagers and Roaches. soO has thrown the early game, but he's going to be able to take it back in the end with Classic overextending.
GG. Wow. Damn. Classic getting some very early damage in there, but it doesn't even matter because I'm motherfucking soO.
Yeah, I love what you said, Marsh. I think you said it perfectly. In the end there, before Classic took heavy damage to his army, he was in a nice position. He had a lot of force fields, and he was in a position where, yes, he can force field off the front because it's not that big, it's not that wide. He has a choke to work with. Mm-hmm. But after he pushes out of that choke, because soO is spread creep from his 3rd and his 4th around, he can get almost a 360 surround. He can get in there, the Banelings have a perfect angle, and I think overall, Classic, yes, he had the utility units, he had the sentries, he had the push possibility, but he should have kept pressure on and worked to get some of the more meaty technological units, whether it be Robo, Immortals, Observers, check that, pardon me, Immortals or Disruptors, something to complement that army. He really had a nice lead, but he probably, because of lack of vision of overall soO's economy, was not quite able to realize the position he wanted to take. Wow. Wow, that was
I know what you're trying to say.
Literally donated like 8 drones.
Yes.
She was like, nah, you're good. I'm going to show the viewers how good I am. Give me a second. I'll just give these to you, and then let's tango.